Obviously, very pleased with the outcome of the game. They're all tough. College football is really hard. It's really hard to go on the road and win a football game, much less against a preseason top 10 team in the country. It's very, very talented. Let me start by also thanking the wonderful Memphis fans that showed up. They were absolutely tremendous. I mean, our players were literally talking about, man, look at all our fans up there. Look at the band. Look at the palm tree. I mean, it's amazing. And when you get that sense of energy and pride from a fan base that loves their Tigers, it means the world to us. And then you could hear them pregame, "Go Tigers, go!" I mean, running at halftime. I mean, and then staying for the game. It's everything you want in a fan base. So grateful for all those fans that showed up. Please be safe traveling back to Memphis, wherever you call home. But man, that was a tremendous deal. You know, I told the team pregame that we're gonna have to go out there and play at a high level, but nothing extraordinary. Just go out there and do your job one play at a time. And we're gonna look up at the fourth quarter. And we knew it'd be a 4-quarter game. That's the way college football is. And I think we were able to go out there, and I told them I want to be a more physical team. I think we were able to line up and be a physical football team. There's a lot to clean up for sure. I think we were a determined football team. And then I told them that the whole country is going to have the opportunity to watch the Memphis Tigers play with relentless effort. And that's one of those things that I can always hang my hat on, right? Regardless of the outcome, and hopefully we have a lot of positive outcomes in this result. But that you guys get to see your Memphis Tigers play with relentless effort. And then lastly, play as a team, right? Offense, defense, and special teams. And look, credit to the defense played lights out. What a tremendous job. The offense did things when they needed to. The special teams was tremendous. But when it was all said and done, we played together as a team. And that's going to be so important for us moving forward, and I couldn't be more pleased. It's a bunch of guys that love each other, that are willing to work. And what I love about this is wins after the game. I can sit there and say, hey, great job, but who's got to improve it? Every single person in the locker room, starting with me, says we can all be better. And let's enjoy this and take a deep breath. It's been a long time since Memphis has beaten a top 10 preseason ranked team in the entire country, much less on the road, and a blue blood program like this. But it's an honor and privilege to continue to coach this team, and I was pleased with the outcome. Now, short-term memory, we have to be ready because we're going to play at Navy on the road to start conference, and they're coming off a bye. So we got to enjoy this, learn from this, and then time to refocus ourselves.
Ryan, that first drive, getting that quick turnover, how much of that kind of set the tone of what you expected for the defense?
Yeah, look, I think that's phenomenal. We talk about starting fast. Starting fast doesn't mean go out there and run a bunch of trick plays in order to score. It just means going out there and executing your assignment. And what I love about our defense is like, Coach, come on, defer, we got you back. And when you have that mindset and that approach by your guys that can go out there and do those things, that's what you love. And part of it is what, you got captains when your captains are your best players. You choose to challenge Martin and say, come on, let me go get that thing. And we open that thing, bam, not the ball, as we talked about taking shots on the ball and getting multiple takeaways. And to open the game like that, it was great. And to sit there and see the offense say, okay, I love it. They got her back. And just a tremendous overall effort by the defense.
And in that decision, it was about 5.5 minutes left where you went forward on 4th down and got it and was able to drain some more clock. Just what went into that decision to do that?
I just got to ask Frank, there's so many decisions that go in a game. And right, I don't sit there and say, well, gosh, I hope when Frank Bonner asked me why didn't I kick the field goal before halftime and my thought process before doing that. But you can sit there and second guess all your decisions. But as a head coach, I got to put us in the best situation. I believe, not with my ego, but I believe is going to help us win the football game, right? Whether to kick the field goal before half, go for it on one of those 4th downs, not go for it on one of those 4th downs. But I figured that was a great opportunity for us to try to gain the 1st down. We knew that the time at that point was becoming of the essence. They needed a touchdown plus a 2-point conversion. So I said in the back of my head, okay, if we get the 1st down, this allows us an opportunity to go out there and maybe get one more 1st down or play sound defense, but with a lot less time on the clock and make them one-dimensional team.
Right, the defense obviously, especially in the first half, huge, but then also when they get the ball back at the end, Chandler gets that sack right away, and that kind of just sets them. Just obviously we've seen it the first 2 games of the season, but this was a different level, and they just brought it. What is it kind of to see that into also to have Memphis win that way instead of like in the past where it's always been offense?
Like I told you, I don't care if we win games. I don't think they'll allow us to win games 1-0, but if we win every game 1-0, we'll take it. But it's phenomenal. I want to be a complete football team, and offense, defense, special teams, they all got to be on point, and to see that, like you exactly said, like to be able to get that type of pressure up front, whether it's with blitzing, being aggressive, whatever that looks like, or even a 3-man rush sometimes when we'll get home, it's huge. And I love playing great defense. You know, I'm not a pro coordinator offensive guy. I'm a Memphis Tiger guy. I'm a football guy, and to see us go out there and play clean defense and do things at a high level is huge. And what I appreciate about this team is, I think everybody in the offense said we don't care who's getting the credit, what that looks like, as long as we go 1-0 this week.
Coach, when they hit the big play to get downfield and score that touchdown, what'd you tell the guys that it seemed like they kind of just immediately settled back down?
Yeah, we talked about it pregame. They're a really talented team. I mean, they got a bunch of 5-stars running around the football field, and we got really good, talented players too that love the game of football. So they're gonna make plays. And I told our guys, right, never get too high, never get too low. I want them to enjoy. I want them to play with a lot of energy and passion. But guess what? Florida State's gonna make plays. I mean, that's just the nature of it. They got some really good, talented players, and they made an explosive play. So when they came off to the side, I think part of it was able to stop that 2-point conversion. Our guys were sitting there saying, okay. So, but just going to the sideline and saying, man, just continue to trust it, we'll be fine. Going to the offense, hey, one play at a time approach. And that's what I love about this team is they sit there and say, okay, cool. There was no panic. There was no premature celebration at halftime. We got a lot of football left to play. And that's what I like about these guys. And you guys hear me talk about during the week about blinders, right? And I think that focus that is needed in college football. You're dealing with 18 to 23-year-olds. And you have that focus really for a 4.5-hour period. And that was one of our keys to victory. And I think, okay, explosive play. Now we'll go back out and play better defense, offense. Let's own the football and see what we can execute.
Besides what you guys did on the field, like from the time the ball went straight into Chandler's hands early to the muff punt to the offsides on the punt that allowed you to go for it on 4th down, it seems like the breaks were going your way. But was there ever a point where you felt like you can breathe a little bit and say that, hey, it's all going our way, or were you on edge the whole time?
One, I don't believe in breaks going our way. If anybody's watched the history of my tenure, it's I think breaks go your way when you're prepared, and credit to the young men in the locker room. They prepare. We got a great coaching staff. They just kind of let me spend some time with them. So whether you go on call the breaks away, but you can never sit there and say we got this. I mean, I literally, even to the last second, my knees were weak, uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable 7 days out of the week. I'm uncomfortable right now because I got to figure out ways to improve. That's just the nature of this thing. And I think our players, I don't want them playing uncomfortable. I want them, I tell them all the time, man, enjoy this, work your tail off, and love it, love what you do. But at no point where we sit there saying, oh, we got this thing in the bag. There's no such thing. It doesn't matter. Even last week, in the week before. Now, let's let that thing hit double all zeros, and then, you sure? Good, we're not going back out there for more play? Okay, now I can go shake a hand and then head back and be around the players I love to be around.
Ryan, what was the moment like with you and Mike after the game?
Yeah, so obviously you guys know my relationship with Mike Norvell. I absolutely have so much respect for him. He truly is like a brother. We were literally side by side like this for 4 years. So there's a huge amount of admiration and respect for one another. Like I said, I want him, other than today, I want him to win every game he ever gets to coach, unless we got to face him again. But he's going to get this thing righted. I mean, there's a reason that he was National Coach of the Year, last year. I mean, he gets it. He understands what it takes. But it was a quick, hey, love you, good luck, and we both said the exact same thing to each other because we think a lot alike. And I hope they're healthy, and I hope they go out and run the table because he knows what he's doing as a coach, and he'll get this Florida State team right.
How did you feel, well, first of all, what happened with Elijah, and how did you feel Bryce played, obviously playing a bigger role?
Elijah wasn't able to play today. He had an injury. We just didn't think it was at the point where he was able to play today. And so, we were able, and great faith in Bryce. I mean, Bryce Edmondson stepped up and did a phenomenal job, and could be more proud of him. I mean, you want to talk about a guy that took the bait and did a phenomenal job. He flew around. He was great with it, his calls and his effort. And that's what you want. You want the next man up mentality. I mean, at one point we were down. There's a couple of guys I'm sure y'all were looking out there saying, who's this Brett Carhoop guy? And y'all were sitting there scrambling like, who's this dude that looks like me out there? I'm sure. But next man up mentality, and that's what I love about our guys. They prepare like they're the All-American that gets to go in next, and they believe and they work. And so it didn't matter if it was our third-string linebacker that was in there at one point in the game. We're going to go out and come swinging. But quite pleased with what Bryce was able to do, and we'll continue to evaluate things, and hopefully everybody's healthy.
How happy were you to see Kobe Cox be able to make the play that he made on special teams?
Yeah, so a couple weeks ago, I don't know if you saw, Kobe Cox did a very similar thing and actually rolled his ankle in the fourth quarter. I said, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just getting this thing ready. And sure enough, it did the exact same thing today, but tremendous. It's a heads up. That's what you want by a senior long snapper. It's a very headsy play. Their guys kind of get in the way of the punt returner to throw them back into it. It's something we talk about when we preach. I'm just so glad he sits in the front row and special teams meeting, so he's actually paying attention because it came to fruition today. So, that type of heads up play, those type of things, that's exactly what you want. And obviously, anytime you get takeaways and turnovers like that, those are game changers.
How much did that first turnover just kind of set the tone?
I always want to be a tone setter, right? But I've also been a part of games where we're down 17-0. Boise State last year, and it's like, but you can't get too high and get too low, like I was saying earlier. It's just keeping that neutral mindset. But I think when you go out there and you can lay the wood like that and force the ball out there, you sit there, I'm not going to lie, I put a little smirk on my face and said, yes, that's the way you start a football game. That's how you play physical, right? That's how you get takeaways. That's how you set the tone for a team. And guess what? I think that the defense was thrilled. I don't know if anybody was happier than Seth Hennigan out there saying, holy cow, I think you could be able to hear that pop, and we're all just thrilled for each other. So we've got to be tone setters, and I'm so glad it started with that.